Good morning from Yami BTV, wishing you all well on a dark and gloomy day coming from down here. But hey, right. So over the last 4 days, a real eye-opening series, namely The Dark Phone, Text by Murder. Channel 4, 9 o'clock every night. The conclusion was last night. Maybe a lot of you might have watched it. But if you haven't, I suggest that you do. A real eye-opener into encrypted phones and encrypted messages and how it all started with, thousands of arrests, many going to prison, 900 million confiscated, preventing murders, attempted murders, big drug deals, corruption at the highest level. Where there's money, there's always going to be people that are going to be able to be breached on the other side, if you get what I mean. So when I came out, I used to hear about these encrypted phones. I don't need one. I'm not a criminal. But in jail and the early parts coming, we got this. They can never track this. It's foolproof. It's bulletproof. There is no way into these phones. The French found the answer. Like there'll always be an answer from them. It might take time. You might have a good run, but in the end, they only need to get you once before the whole house comes tumbling down. And it did, and it continues to happen, right? So it touches on one man early on in the program, the first part. One man gets arrested. He's in beef with one of his so-called friends at one time before they became enemies. I think he tried to put a hit out on this other so-called gangster. He failed, but that geezer called Luke something went to jail, and this one here decides that he wants to get him back. So he's messaging. This guy is wanted for murders and a whole lot of crimes all around the world, but he's hiding out in Barcelona, right? He's paranoid. That's what that life does. You don't want to go nowhere. You don't want no people to know. All you're doing is talking on the phone, still arranging deals of some kind, keeping in touch with, the whole organised crime syndicate, yeah? But the feds don't know what they look like. They've got the phone numbers. They don't know their names, but they're listening to every single message. See, people get nicked. They think there's a leak. It causes unrest in the syndicate. Who's wrong? Who's done this? How did they know that? Because they don't know that the phones have been now breached. What they're thinking is foolproof. Well, it can't be the phone, so we can continue just talking on there, so to speak, right? So they're reading all the messages. He's hiding out this geezer. He's paranoid. He don't even want to leave his house because he's wanted and things. But he takes pictures of where he is in Barcelona. The view, not his face or nothing, but then he sends it somewhere else and the police watch that. That's in Barcelona. That's the view, and that's high up there. So you've got an idea where he might be staying, even though you don't know what he looks like. Now, the rest of them, the chain of events, some big players, you can hear what's being done. Probably the big boss, right, has been knocked, like somebody hasn't paid him in another country quite a lot of money, and he's taking it as a disrespect, like he will do. So many problems come with it. The higher up you are, the worse it is. Trust me, mate. Too much on the line, right? You can't live in peace, can you? So they get a torture chamber in a lockup where they go disguised as police to get this guy who's not paid the money. So they're coming with that old chestnut. I've got police on. We want to talk to you. And he thinks he's going with the police. This is what the plan was. But only to get him to the lockup where the torture chamber was, where they could work on him. But sending that picture around as well to people, this is where the lockup is. And the police have got that as well, right? So this is how it unfolded. 18 million worth of gear coming from Australia in a crane, right? Foolproof. Remember, a lot of people throw their money in for the first time. Some have been playing a foolproof method of getting stuff in for quite some time, believing that their money's safe. People that only just start and getting involved, well, I'll throw a bit in and they lose. There's always bad blood and bitterness, man, with all big egos involved, right? Lack of trust in the game that is really untrustworthy anyway. So 18 million. So the link from Australia puts it in the police in Australia nick the gear out the panels, right? So that when it gets over to where it's going, they go in, they sit there, go between, the chain of events, and they go in, but the gear's not there. So they all start falling. You know what the police have done? Yeah, all right, let's see them all start arguing, cause unrest. They all started messaging each other, you're wrong and this and that. He was him down there. Yeah, we better get our money back. And where is it, the gear? And no, we can't work it all out. So they start doing all the threats to each other. What does it do? They have to call on a meet with everyone. And they end up in England, in London, to sit around a table together. But the police are going to be waiting somewhere they all come so that they get you all together. You end up with loads and loads of years in prison, right? It's worth remembering as well, a lot of these guys, they look like bank managers in the syndicate. It resembled a bit like Hatton Garden, where you think, oh, them, what do I know, glasses. They look like bank managers, even police officers or whatever. Not a lot of them had previous convictions, stayed under the radar, not flaunting wealth or nothing, lasted long in the game. But what do we do? What do we know? It only takes one moment and you're nicked. And what I found over the years, when doing time in prison, a lot of men at the lower end of the chain, not with the money and on the street level and that kind of stuff, you could do your time a bit more easier. There's less, I suppose, to worry about. Them, when they go to jail, they struggle to do time. You might have had all the money and the big thing. You've got too much to worry about. You lost control. It's not your forte. This is what I found right over the years, and the program highlights that. Confiscation with the money, bitter people that you're working with in that life, yeah? The comebacks, who's to blame, your family, you lose that, all that. So in the end, the higher up you are with the money, the more money you're going to lose. And even when you come out, they're still going to be swarming all over you, isn't they? But a real eye-opener. For some of those, make sure, please, have a look at it. If that isn't a deterrent and getting pulled in to a life where there's so much money, it's like nothing to them, and they think that everything's foolproof. But if you watch the Paranoia, when they've done this really well, you know, that program, because I believe that's probably one of the most realistic kind of behaviors, where the paranoia, where the leak is. I never liked him. It's probably them. It's come from that. You can't ever rest. You constantly have to keep looking over your shoulder. What a way to live. The same old thing we always say on Yummy BTV. It only takes one moment or one police, so you can get away with it loads of times. It only takes the police once to get you. And it's good night, Vienna. I'll be back up in a little while with another video following on from yesterday with some of the comments in that Tommy Robinson video.